Hey everybody. Alright, so we're back. We're gonna check on this cocoon bin I got. It was a January the 14th reset that we did, and this is just all the cocoons that were in the bedding. So we're gonna run through it and give it a feeding. I see some little hatchlings right here already, so they're doing pretty good, I'm assuming. So we're just gonna give them a quick feeding, get them up a little bigger so we can pick them up, get them out when it's time. Yeah, we'll just give them a splash. There's a couple there. There's one there. Little bitty thing stuck on the end of my finger. So I'm trying to make sure they all stay in here. They're bad about sticking to your gloves and your hand. So here's one making his way. So yeah, we'll give him a little something here. Not quite a quart, about a half a quart of bedding. Their favorite treat, apples and bananas. I've got access to apples. There's a property I take care of, and on it is several apple trees. And instead of mowing the apples up, I go around, and before I mow or anything, I take and gather the apples up in buckets and bring them home and throw them in one of the freezers and just leave them be. And then as I need them, I pull them out and chop them up. And yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, 8. So they're doing good. That's wonderful. Like I said, all this was just cocoons left out of a bin. That was the bedding that was left out of one of the bins. Like I said, I don't sift. That's way too much headache to try to sift. You're not gonna get them sifting anyway. They're gonna go through anyway. So I just put the cocoons in here and let them hatch and let them grow up big enough to where I call them like pickers. I can pick them up, and so once they get big enough to where I can see them with my blind self, I'll pick them up and put them in another bin, and I'll finally call this finished. And yeah, the castings aren't finished. I mean, yeah, they still got some leaves in them. They still have stuff in them, but they're finished enough for me for what I'm gonna do with them. And so you know, and like I said, I'm doing worms right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm just doing worms. So and we got plenty of bedding. We actually got to go out and get some more bedding. I got a compost pile out here behind the house that when I mow the yard, I just pile it all up on a concrete pad out there and let it decompose over the season, and then I've got plenty of compost year round, basically for the garden, for in here, whatever I want to use it for. So yeah, they're looking good. And if you want to, we can take a look at our natural versus cardboard bedding challenge if you want to, and see how they're doing. This is the natural, and yeah, they're eating. They're in there. That's good. I usually don't bother them. They make a lot better deal if you don't bother them. I try not to get in here and mess. That's one reason why I feed down the middle, because like I said, they get along the edges here in the corners and everything and hang out. And So I usually don't get in there and mess with the corners. I'll go down the middle, check the food, feed it or not, cover it back up, throw a lid on it, on to the next one. And I try not to go through here. Now, every now and then, once a month or so, I will go through and check and fluff the whole bin. And what I do, I usually pull everybody up, and when they come up, I just take them and I drop them in the middle where I just fed and let them all go back down to where the food is. I call that a family reunion is what I call it. So I get everybody back together, and they'll go in there and be concentrated right in the middle and work on the food, and they can slide back out and make it to the edges back where they were at and keep doing their thing. So yeah, so anyway, but that's what we do there. So that was looking good. They're not starving, they got food. So let's check the cardboard and see what the rate on it is. Oh yeah, they dropping castings on the top. Looking pretty good. It's pretty even. Got some movement marks on the side where they've been creeping around and stuff right through here. If they do move around, I mean, you know, that's what they do. So yeah, we got food left. So yeah, they're doing pretty good though. They've whacked that pretty hard. But yeah, they're looking good. Couple right here. And it's cool down here tonight. It's pretty cool. Probably in the low 40s, high 30s down here now. It's kind of cold outside tonight. So yeah, everybody's a little slow. But yeah, the main thing is I've learned, leave them alone, let them do their thing. I don't usually bother. Try to let them run and go about their business. So let me stick these two back on these shelves here. Let's peek in on some of these right here and see how they're doing. These are some of the January the 15th breeder bins I set up. Oh yeah, looking good, looking good. I had fed some, so yeah, they're definitely doing good. They still got some food left to work on, so we'll call that good. We won't feed them again. Overfeeding's a big problem that I try not to get involved in. They've still got plenty of food here to eat too. The bedding's not done, so they still have bedding to eat on, and so just want to make sure they got something. I know there's a couple of bins in here that need to be fed, and that's what we're gonna find because I've got some food left. Oh, I can tell already. There's still a mound here. Just a slight mound. There's a depression right around it, but nothing dead center. So we just take and scratch down in the middle there and see there's still food there. So we're gonna let them ride. But I mean, they're getting there. They're getting nice and fat. That's one thing about them. They will get fat. They'll get nice and fat. So, oh, it's cold down here tonight. Let's get on this end down here and see what we got. still a little raised right there. And so they're right there. They're right there under the top right there. They're still working on something. Yeah, you can see them. Not a lot left in there. Let's check it. Let's see. Oh yeah, they worked it. A little bit left on the edge here. I think that's some stuff I just didn't like. Yeah, I almost feel like that's what that is. I had fed them some corn and potatoes and some beans or something. With some old expired canned food. And so I blended it up and fed it to them, and it seems to be a little slower. Which I think they're spoiled. Somebody said I was going to spoil them. I think Nana's worm farm said I was spoiling them, and I think I have. They don't want anything but bananas and apples now. But anyway, they'll eat it. And if you got something slow running that you're feeding them, and it seems like they're not, wanting it, they'll get it. They'll get to it eventually. It'll get right to them. They'll finally come back to it, and they'll take it. It just depends on when it gets right. They know. That's why I feed in the middle too. If I put something in here that's bad or something wants to heat up or whatever, they can get away, and they'll always come back to it. I don't care what it is. They have an insane appetite, and so I don't really worry about it too much. Like I said before, the whole art is the patience thing with these, or just wait, let them run. Try not to disturb them too much. Like I said, I won't go in here and turn this out because there's no need to. They're doing their thing around the edges, and everybody's getting along really good. I don't want to break up any relationships, so I'm just gonna let them do the thing. They do a lot. They do a lot without a human interfering, So, and if you see the moisture in here, I mean, it's damp. It's wet around the edges, but it's perfect. I mean, it's not too wet, not too dry. The lid maintains the moisture pretty good. So that's what we're doing on that one. Look like they need something to eat. Let's see what else we got. 115. Phew, they've been moving around on this one. Getting around good on the sides. Can you see the sides? See how they're getting up here? Yeah, they'll move around, but they're not trying to get out. They're not there now. They were there. They come out. They crawl around. They're real nosy little individuals. Yeah, they still got food. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll leave now. And I believe that is some of that corn that I ground up. So it was a sweet cream corn or sweet regular corn, but evidently they slow going on it, which is alright. If you were going to go out of town and you were doing blended food, you could put a slow blended kind of food in, like corn or potatoes or something like that, or you could put big food in. I'm not an anti-cut food person. I just like the blended style. It keeps it a lot cleaner for me. See, that's a bean. That's one of the beans that didn't get chopped up in the blender, evidently. It's a real slow go on these because they just don't seem to want it right now, or or just working it real slow. Because if you go around, like the edges, you see they're there, they're wanting it. So just let them work it. Like I said, it's all about patience. So you see they're all the way around the edges here. So they're working in, you know. So just let them be. Just let them have at it. No big thing. As long as they're not hungry, they're good. Yeah, see, they worked the middle of that pretty good. Some of it's left, but they're working it pretty good right there. You see, they've got some left here, so no need to feed them at all. Somebody asked me the other day, "What kind of worms are those?" And I'm like, "Well, let me explain to you what happened. I bought and paid for red wigglers from a reputable worm farm, and that's what I got with those. And I'm not 100% sure what they are. I've got a chart that describes the description of a red wiggler, and it gives a color of red, orange to yellow on the body, and it tells you how many segments you need to count off for the pore and for the clitellum and all that, and they match all that criteria. So I'm gonna call them red wigglers or reds, or I just call them composting worms. That keeps it simple. But yeah, if anybody knows exactly what kind they are, I had a guy. He showed me 3 or 4 pictures of his worms. He had his ANCs, his ENCs, blues, and his red wigglers. And yeah, and these didn't look like any of those. But they I don't know. But when you get them and they're young, see, a lot of these worms are old. You see, a lot of these worms are probably at least 2 to 3 years old. Um, they they're fat, and they're just, see, like that right there. That's your standard looking red wiggler. But then you turn around, you go over here, and you pull up some big fatty. You see, and they're like, and he was like, "I've never seen red wigglers that big," and I was like, "Well, I didn't really know what size they were supposed to be, but that's, I don't know." I don't worry about it too much. Like I said, they do compost and they have a voracious appetite, and so I don't complain. I like them. I'm making more of them, so that's the best part. So maybe it's a hybrid. I swear, I think I found an albino the other night. I almost don't remember which bin it was in now, because I remember just going through and it was just this really big white worm. He wasn't any pink in it at all. And I was like, wow, that looks like an albino version. I set it next to the other one. I guess I should have shot a video of it, but I didn't. I was just in here messing, doing a reset on a bin. I don't make videos all the time. I don't know. A lot of times I catch myself. I don't have the camera down here with me and stuff like that. Which my camera consists of, basically, it's just another telephone that I've got that doesn't have service to it. It just does the Wi-Fi and the internet and the camera. And then I've got the video editor downloaded on it. So it's nothing really. See, I don't know. Like I said, they're different. So I've looked at Alabama jumpers. I've looked at, every brand there is. And like I said, when I went through the description chart, these really still classified off as red wigglers, so I don't know. So they're making us some more red wigglies. Happy little worms. If they're not reproducing, then they're not happy. The moisture isn't correct, then they're not reproducing. So let me not bother now. Let's put them back where they were. All right, y'all go ahead. Sorry about that. So, like I said, I'm done worrying about what kind of worms they are. I've heard stories that, oh, if you get worms from this certain guy, he'll give you half and half and this and that. I ain't gonna mention nobody's names, but I don't know. And actually, I'm pleased with it either way, because like I said, we're getting good worms out of it, getting good castings out of it. See, that's some more of that corn. That's exactly what that is. That's some more of that corn ground up. And they're just slow on it. It hadn't broke down enough for them to get it. So, and I don't think it's sweet enough for them. So, uh-huh. But yeah, like I said, I've seen somebody sent their worms off and had them classified. And I thought that was pretty cool, and I actually have thought about that. I don't think it costs a lot of money to have it done. I thought, well, maybe I'll grab a couple of these and throw them in a little container and mail them off to somebody and let somebody else figure it out. But yeah, that's the first question. Why are your worms so big? Why are your worms that color? I don't know. That's just how they growed up to be. So, yeah. These are the bands at the end of the table over here that seem to be. One of the last feeds was, like I said, corn and some other stuff. And there's slight depression right there. Just a little bit. And you see some fresh castings. I know it's hard to catch on the camera, the difference in the texture. It's not really a difference in the color. But, yeah, see. They worked that in and not this in. So, yeah, they're getting it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they're in it. They're all over it. Oh, yeah. You see, they work from the edges in, so you see. So they're definitely working it. They're there. They're just eating it from the edge in. So it'll get right, and they'll come in and get it. And like I said, that's the coolest thing I like about the whole feeding in the middle thing, is I don't have to worry about messing up and getting them hooked on something that's gonna hurt them, or which I'm beyond that point now. But like I said, as it breaks down, they'll come back to it and hit it when it finally gets right, or as it does around the edges, or how it breaks down. They'll finally come in when it's ready and take it on. So that's the safest thing you can do, is not go in and mix it all in. Just feed it in the middle, and that gives you your safety zone for them to back away if it's too acidic, or if it's, starts to cook off and get hot. They can all get away from the temp. Like I said, they'll go and sit back and wait for it to get right, and they'll ease in. And like I said, they got plenty of bedding to eat, so they'll do that and hang tight. Yeah, that. Oop, easy. Yeah, those. Why are they so big? I don't know, because they eat all the time, I guess. That's all they seem to do, is eat around here. So there's a little bit left on the edge here. A little bit of that. And that's still, you see, that's still matty right there. So we're going to call them good. Let them have at it. I see no neglect bin, or what is it? No feed neglect bin videos all the time where people don't feed their worms for 2 months. So yeah, I'm not scared of starving them to death. They are very robust creatures. They can handle themselves and take a lot of abuse, so a lot tougher than you think they are. So if you ever went fishing and shoved a hook through one, threw it out there and let it set for a while and reeled it back in, and it's sitting there moving around, still alive, and you're like, how did you survive all that? So yeah, like I said, they're pretty tough little critters. So like I said again, if you notice, I'm not going around these edges because I know for a fact that's where a lot of them are right there, and I don't want to bother them. I'm gonna let them do their thing. You see. So, and like I said, once a month I'll go through and I will pull that edge out and get down in that rib down in there and bring everything out and up and over and turn it and make sure it's not compact tight down through there and everything, and try to aerate it one time a month. And then, like I said, I take everybody out, set them in the middle, let everybody drop back down into the food and eat what they want, and then they can go back to where they were at and doing what they were doing. So, you know. Yeah, there's some cocoons right there. There's 1, 2. Yeah. 3. So yeah, they're doing their thing. That's good. And I know for a fact that those are all new cocoons, especially right here on the top, right there. So that's good. That seems to me everything's working the way it should. And like I said, all I'll do is eventually when they work this over all the way, I'll pull them out that I can get out, and I'll reset this bin, back to new bedding, put the worms in, and then this old bedding, including every single cocoon, every single little hatchling, everything that's in here, that bin will go into another, all that byproduct will go into another bin, and it'll set, and I'll let it set for anywhere from, on a minimum, 3 weeks to let everything start hatching, and then I'll let it set and go through it and start working it, for a month or so. And once they get big enough where I can reach in there and pick them out like that and put them in another bin to let them grow out, then I'll call this finished, and I'll take this bin and I'll clean it out and put the castings in the storage bin, and I'll put fresh bedding, and I'll take all those little hatchlings and shuck them in here with the fresh bedding, and then they'll grow up, and that's the process. It's a non-stop process. And one day, you wind up with way too many worms. I was gonna ask a couple of people on here, the wormers, do you feel like it's addictive? That's what I want to know. Do you feel like it's addictive? Does it seem to be that you start out with this little bin, and then you get another bin, and then you get another bin, and then everything you look at could possibly be a worm bin. You start looking at this stuff and going, hey, that'd make a good worm bin. So, just a question I'm asking. Let me know in the comments what you think. See, there's the bean stuff. See, that's the older feeding. And that older stuff there, they're not real, I don't know. They're just not real keen on eating it for some reason. And that's the first time. Or not eating it fast. They are eating it. You can tell they're in it. They're just not tearing it up like, I guess, the sweets. So, which is cool though. I mean, like I said, that's fine with me. It's less feeding I gotta do. And like I said, they still got plenty of bedding to eat. So, I mean, it's a win-win either way. They either eat it, or they don't. They will, or they won't, but they will. And I haven't seen anything they've turned down. Watched some videos. I think it was jalapeno, whole jalapeno. Somebody put in, they didn't eat it. It wasn't because of the heat, I don't believe. It wasn't because of the capsaicin in the jalapeno. It was due to the fact that it wasn't broke down enough for it to eat it. If it was about a half rotted jalapeno, they probably would have tore it up. So you know. That's like the feed I've got now is actually got a couple of tangerines thrown in it that went bad here at the house. I feed them citrus. I don't feed them a lot. I mean, I just put a little bit in. Everything's supposed to be in moderation, so But everybody acts like you pour a little bit of oranges peels or oranges and blend them up or whatever, and you put them in there that everybody will melt or something. No, that won't happen. They just, like I said, if they'll wait once again until it gets right, then they'll come in there and they will eat it. There ain't much a worm won't eat. A worm will eat you when they bury you in the ground. These little suckers here and everybody else, they come and they eat you. There's people got their shorts in there. So eat my shorts video from a lady, and they eat. That's what they do. They eat everything. The lady's got deer meat she puts in. The only thing she pulls out her bones. That's what they do. They break decomposing matter down, and they eat it. They're not pure vegetarians or anything like that. They'll eat whatever it is as soon as it gets broke down and there's enough bacteria on it. They'll eat it. So don't ever think a worm won't eat it. I think garlic. I've seen garlic not get eaten, but it's just very few things they won't eat. So yeah, and you try to keep your acidity down in your compost, in your castings. You try to in the bedding. You try to keep the acidity down inside the bin, and that's one reason why everybody is kind of like, don't feed them this, don't feed them that. And I understand that. Don't feed them that. Don't do this. So that's cool. I mean, that's what you gotta do. But they will eat oranges. You can feed them oranges. You can feed them limes. You can feed them lemons. Just in moderation. You can't take a whole bag of oranges or a whole bag of lemons and blend them up and dump them in your bin. I will have a happen. So that's everybody looking good. As long as there ain't nobody hungry, we want to make sure everybody has gotten to eat. And see, I just write down the day I made the bin. You see this tag right here is 115 and it says breed, which it means it's a breeder bin. And that's just a medical tape or whatever. It's real easy to pull off. It doesn't leave a residue. It's easy for me to write on it with an ink pen. And it'll last long enough before I do the reset. Like I said, this is 115. What's today? The 13th. So we're 30 days in. And within another 30 to 45 days or 60 days will be 90 days, 80, somewhere between 60 and 80 days, I'll usually pull them out and redo them. So, yeah, and that lasts just long enough for me to keep up with when I did it, what it is, whether or not it's, and you can wipe the dirt off. It's in a bad spot. I guess that's my fault. I put it right where I gotta put my thumb, but, I think it's all right. Maybe I should have put it over here. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, y'all let me know. Are y'all addicted like I am, or is it's not just me, right? Right? It's not just me. I'm not the only one going, hey, that'd make a good worm bin. Or, hey, what you gonna do with that tub over there? I could use that. Or I don't know. Or hey, I'm gonna make more worms, more worms, more castings, more cocoons. I don't know. Like I said, do me a favor. Leave me a comment and let me know. Are you addicted too? Maybe we'll get us a support group going. How about that? We'll get the I'm Addicted to Worms support group built up. Maybe I'll make a Facebook page, and that's what we'll call it. I'm Addicted to Worms support group. So anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Just hit me up. Don't forget, if you ain't already, let's subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can keep up with what we're doing every couple of days. Throw us a thumbs up and let us know what you got. Real good big old thumbs up for everybody there. I appreciate everybody coming checking it out. We're getting more subscribers. Welcome to all the new subscribers. AJ, Nana, what we got? Paula. I can't remember the rest of them. I'm sorry about that. throw you in on the next video tomorrow. And because we're going to go through the big bins, I still got the big bin down here and the 255s to go through. I'll catch it back a list this time, and I'll throw everybody out there. But hey, I appreciate all the new subscribers. And like I said, y'all have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.